Hey friends, welcome back. My name is Jason, and today we are discussing the top 10, my top 10 prepper habits. I'm calling them habits because preparedness is a lifestyle. It's something that we do on a daily basis. And it's not just something we knock out, we check off the list, and then we call it good. We have to continually put in the effort, put in the time, put in the money, the resources in order to be more prepared. Number one is going to be food. Food storage, food rotation of the storage, food management. All of these things are going to be crucial if we're going to outlast the difficult times that may be in our future. It comes down to habitually getting a little bit more than you actually need in order to create some sort of stockpile. Every time that we go to the grocery store and we're going to buy a can of green beans, we pick up an extra can of green beans to add to that stockpile. And then once we've accumulated a fair amount, a large stockpile, as much as we can possibly realistically store in the spaces that we have, we rotate through that stockpile to ensure that nothing spoils and goes bad, and therefore our investment in that food storage hasn't been wasted. If we have root cellars and things of that nature, are we managing the humidity, the temperatures, the things that might spoil our food storage in those locations? Number two is going to be water. Water procurement, water filtration, purification, and storage if necessary. Do you have a reliable source of water if suddenly the power goes out, the city water supply is no longer coming to your home? Do you have a plan for that? There's lots of ways to go about this, but we have to continually be evaluating this to ensure that we're going to have a steady supply of water, because really, honestly, with a few days without water and you're pretty much done. So that's super, super high on the list. Do you have alternative ways to purify your water? Do you have a water supply close to your home? Is it going to be convenient? Is it going to be easy for you to collect that water, get it to your home to use for whatever it is you need it for everything from drinking water, bathing, cooking, washing clothes and dishes, all of those things? Do you have a hand pump that you can pump water from your well into your house? So make it a habit right now to solidify a secondary, a tertiary, quaternary water source in a way to make sure that it is good for use. Number three is going to be gardening, livestock, saving seeds. These are going to supply you with a renewable food source. So you can only store so much stuff. But the problem with this one is that it takes a lot of time and investment. We need to be investing in these skills and learning how to raise chickens. We need to be learning how to grow vegetables in our garden, because it's not as easy as it looks. You're going to fail 9 times out of 10 when you first start before you finally figure out what it takes to make the green beans grow, whatever it is, whatever crop you're trying to produce. We need to be habitually learning how to grow and produce our own food. How much feed do you need to give to the chickens? How much food do I need to feed my ducks? That's something I'm learning right now. And each and every day I'm investing my time and energy and resources into these ducks so they can produce eggs for me. My goal is that they can free range and get most of what they need from the landscape. Is that possible? I don't know, and I wouldn't know unless I'm actually doing it. Prepping habit number 4 is off-grid living. Can you do laundry? Can you take care of cooking chores? Can you take care of washing dishes? Can you take care of general life off-grid, without electricity, without natural gas that's flowing into your home from the city supply? Without these types of things, can you do life? I was thinking about that today. I don't have a good setup for laundry. If power was to go out, electricity was to go out, yeah, we could use backup generators and stuff like that, but a washing machine is going to use a lot of electricity. That may not be the most efficient use of our backup power. So having some alternative way to do that, like I was thinking about a big 55-gallon drum, essentially, with a screw-on plastic lid, the plastic 55-gallon drums, and some sort of agitator, like a big plunger type thing where I can wash large loads of a family of 5 type laundry. So something like that I think would be important, and these are just small little things that I continually, habitually keep working on. Number 5 is medical training. Medical training, if you don't consistently practice it, you're going to forget it. You're going to lose it, and you're not going to know what to do in emergency situations if a loved one perhaps was injured. So staying current, staying up to date on your medical training, I think is really important. You don't necessarily have to go out and take courses and do formal type training, but I think it'd be helpful, but it is an investment in money, generally speaking, to do so. You can learn a lot of this information just on the internet. You can buy books, you can read books, but having an expert opinion, an expert standing right there that can show you this and that, where to put that thing, where to stick that thing, I think is pretty important when it comes to medical advice. So staying updated and continually practicing your medical training is very important, and not just in a sterile atmosphere, but wilderness first aid and stuff is also really important, because these things happen when you least expect it. It's not always going to be the perfect classroom type setting where you learn how to do CPR. This person's going to be in a car wreck, and they're going to be falling out of a tree, and they're going to be wedged up underneath the tractor. All sorts of different things are going to happen. So thinking outside the box and varying your training a little bit, continually, habitually working on medical skills, crucial. Number 6 is self-defense. We need to always be working on improving our self-defense game. And I'm not just talking about punching a heavy bag or kung fu chops. I'm talking about situational awareness, because that's really honestly probably the most important thing. Not probably, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's the most important thing when it comes to self-defense. Spotting a potential danger before it even happens and getting away from it, avoiding it altogether, that is going to be so much more important than being able to kung fu kick your way out of that problem. So situational awareness, constantly practicing that is a habit that you just have to get into. And I'm just as guilty of it as anybody else, of having my comfortable places and not being situationally aware. When I'm out in town or I'm in parking lots and crowded buildings and stuff, I'm pretty turned on, and I kind of have a lay of the land. I know where the emergency exits are, and I'm watching people, and I'm profiling everyone, and I'm pretty good at that. But when I'm home here, for example, making a video like this right now, my situational awareness is very, very low. Someone could be sneaking up on me right now and I would have no idea, and it's difficult unless you practice it to stay turned on a little bit all the time. Nobody can be 100% situationally aware all the time, but I think we could all do a better job of it. Along the same lines of self-defense, we need to be practicing our marksmanship. If you don't use it, you will lose it. Just because you used to be a good shot and you used to be able to shoot the gnat's left eye at 3,000 meters doesn't mean you still can. You need to continually be practicing this and staying sharp, staying keen. Combatives, hand-to-hand combatives. Are you training that stuff? Are you practicing? Don't give me the excuse that you used to do that stuff and you're too old for it now. You're not. Anybody and everybody, with exception of major disabilities and things like that, I understand. But are you, where I'm talking about you, are you doing everything that you can do to be better able to defend yourself and your family? Same topic of self-defense. Security on your building, on your house, on your property. Do you have fences? Do you have gates? Do you have motion sensing lights? Are you working consistently towards securing your perimeter? Number 7 is wilderness survival. I think that this is an important one because we just never really know what situation we're going to be in. If you frequently visit remote locations, then you really need to be keyed up on this one. You need to be dialed in on these, because you're more likely to experience a problem that needs to be solved with wilderness survival techniques. You never visit wild areas, it doesn't mean you're excused from this, because it could happen. You just never really know. So being able to start fires in all sorts of inclement weather and conditions and wind and rain and hail and snow, being able to build a solid shelter in a remote environment with very little tools or equipment. Do you know how to identify wild edible plants? Can you trap? Can you hunt? All of these things. Fishing. Do you know how to use basic fishing tackle to gather food sources from the water? I believe as a human, you need the basic skills of not dying in the woods. Number 8 is DIY. Can you do it yourself? Can you make the repairs? Can you change the tires, the oil, the filters on your vehicle? Do you know how to change the air filter in your home? If you had a leaky roof, could you patch those shingles? These skills are only acquired by doing. You can't just watch somebody do it. You can't watch a YouTube video. You can't read a book about it. You got to just go out there and get your hands dirty, pick up the tool, and start swinging that hammer in order to figure out how to drive the nail. Because there may become a time when you can't just call a guy to come over and fix the things. You might have to rely upon yourself to do what is necessary to keep that tractor running. Alternate energy generation. Do you have generators? With those generators, do you have a stockpile of fuel that's going to be used for those generators? Do you have solar panels? Do you have solar generators? Do you have wind turbines, water wheels? Do you have a way to generate power so you can keep electricity flowing to your home? Maybe your plan is to just, when the grid goes down, to not use electricity anymore. That's fine. That's totally fine as long as you are willing and able to live life without electricity. We're all capable of doing it. Our ancestors did it for millennia. But do we know how to do that now? Do we know how to light up our rooms without the flip of the switch? Do we know how to cook without the electric stove or oven? Do we know how to do all the things that currently electricity does for us very easily? Do we know how to make that happen in alternative ways? Number 10, last one, is going to be community building. Are you investing the time, the energy into building up a community around you? Are you meeting your neighbors? Are you making friends? Are you practicing skills? Are you learning things with these people? Are you going out and testing yourself in harsh conditions and building shelters and all of those things? Because struggling, mutual suffering is a great way to build really, really strong bonds among your peers. We have to invest in people because without people, we're not going to make it. No one's going to make it by themselves, at least for not for very long. You could try, but eventually something's going to happen and you're going to be counting on someone to be there for you to help you out. And it's just not going to happen because you haven't made this investment in the people around you. Habitually spending time with people, developing relationships, strengthening bonds is going to be really important when tough times come. All right, guys, well, there's my top 10 prepper habits. I'd love to hear what you think about this in the comments section, guys. Please add number 11, 12, 13, 14, whatever it is, on my list of habits that we need to be continually working on in order to be more prepared. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I cannot wait to see you on the next one.